This decides it. One of these runners will be going on to the finals of the Highway to the Zima Zone 6, and the other, well, they get to enjoy their bronze medal. I'm Scar. I'm joined in the booth by Garen. We've got Antidale restreaming and Night Dew tracking. How are you doing on this lovely Sunday afternoon, Garen?
I'm doing great so far, Scar. And how about yourself?
I am excited. We've got an Edge Hero. We've got, it looks like just so 2 darkness objectives. I should have read the objectives before commenting on them.
Oh, come on. It spoils all the fun if you actually read things and prepare in advance. This is fly by the seat of your pants commentary here, folks. Anyways, yeah, we've got the Giant, we've got the White Spear Altar, we've also got some dead ends like curing the fever with the Sand Ruby, doing the Forge as always, and trading away the Pink Tail, throwing the King of the Town of Monsters for good measure. Hopefully something very spicy that blocks Darkness Crystal, so it's hard required. That would be fun.
Ogo at Levy required darkness.
Or something like, maybe DKC or a Wyvern with a very nasty Witchburn, yeah, confused to the party or something like that. That'd be fun. Anyhow, so the runners are using the modifier fast heroes here. They rolled an Edge, who's one of the faster heroes, and other than that, it plays like a vanilla ZZ6 seed, so standard things go on here. Objectives are on the K main. We've got the moon objectives and the summon spots. And grind will be as normal. They'll probably be trying to do a Mac Giant grind, which makes sense because the Giant is an objective. We'll see how this all goes in a moment.
I mean, if it's darkness at like Ogo at Levy, and the Luca key is on the moon, they'll be doing Sylph for experience.
That's very possible. Yes. I'm not gonna like it, especially if there's no an item bonus from that. We'll see how nasty it's been here from our restream Antidale.
We live by the dice and we die by the dice. And they're off. Let's see what the dice are saying about our starting partner. It doesn't really matter with an Edge Hero. Edge can just clear the blue planet all on his own.
Well, it's a DKC who has gone to the other side of the starting pairing with the starting Darkness Crystal.
Well, that puts 2 objectives on the board, and this is like do Hobbs, do Baronin, find a 5th character, grab the moon character and hope that you get no dupes and a white mage, and you rock and roll.
Yeah, so meanwhile, no panic over the Darkness Crystals, now just panic over, oh shoot, how soon do I grind? Because, you want to get that Mac Giant grind done as soon as you possibly can do it. So, yeah, objective is get 5, get to the Giant.
Well, you want to get a grind done. While the Mac Giants have been, the most popular, the go-to grind, there are situations where, and xPankraz, immediately raising the whale, there are situations where you can do other things to get your levels. The blue planet grind options are far less expedient with a Darkness Crystal in hand, unless you get an early Forge and there's Sirens there. But like, if they get Rydia and they get Bahamut Orb early, they could, or they get Palom, they could be fighting dragons for their XP.
They could be. I mean, it's always possible. Forge tends to be buried, especially when Darkness happens to be just so free in this case. We'll see how it goes. Pyre is doing a more traditional opening, just going to the watery pass to loot it all out. I've seen some decent things there. It's a pretty standard set. I think Icebrand was the best I'd seen so far. xPankraz is going to check the character up here on the moon. Since Edge is the one restricted character out of the 10 that we have available, this could be anyone up here. It could even be a dupe Cecil. We don't know. It is a cane. Okay. It's possibly helpful for the Mac Giant grind later on. Does give you Val insurance if you happen to need it.
Well, we don't need Val insurance if we end up with a stack of darts and with worst case scenario hand axes for sale in the overworld. Our hero edge guarantees we can get through Valvalis. Radio and
Here's
Pod.
Rydia. Okay. Apparently, the doctor's trying to experiment on kids. Not very cool. Not sure why Kane being on the moon makes him any more trustworthy than being on the blue planet, but okay.
You can trust a dishonest man to betray you.
Oh, a ninja shirt for that edge. If I make him even faster here in the overworld. Xpankraz has found the first monster box in the Eblin. Since we are not running vanilla boxes, these could be anywhere. Doesn't know where they are. Karate shirt. Charm rod. That's nice for the Rydia that we already have. Bandana for Pyre. Cat Claw, Crystal Armor, and Ninja Sword. That's nice for Pankraz there.
Yeah, things like the slightly better chance of a ninja sword is why most folks will loot Eblin first on these edge starts.
There's a Sword Crow for Pyre down in the Antlion Cave as well, so getting lots of stuff for this Rydia that he has. And the octopus just moved next door to another cave nearby.
Edge starting with only a claw this seed is kind of putting a bit of a damper on Pyre's apparent plan of go blow things up with Edge.
Yeah, because he already darted the Slumber Sword that he had, and unfortunately the Ninja Blade is over on Pankraz's side, not Pyre's side.
But I think Pankraz has found all three monster boxes, and the one he peaked instead of immediately resetting was the Staleman Skull, which is the easiest for an edge-centric party. Second
Ninja Sword.
So
All right,
we're gonna rock and roll.
Oh, Samurai Arrows? Okay. Oh, Luca Key in the Antlion Cave. All right. So Pankraz will have a faster time of it, I think, with those two ninja swords if Pyre does not go back and check for that Gungnir Spear for the cane. Okay. This Warfax to back row the cane.
Nice.
All right, this Eblin is loaded here for Pankraz's party. Assassin Dagger, Ogre Axe, okay. Blizzard Spear. I think Pankraz is going to be mostly done with the looting in this seed at this point. Got all the stuff you pretty much need out of here.
I believe both runners will probably be, at this point, done doing any heavy looting. A box here and there along the way is probably always appreciated.
Yep. Just given where they went, that's probably going to favor Pankraz a little bit just because of those two ninja swords that he got. And just the extra power for the cane there.
Yeah, and Pyre both found and bought quite a few pairs of Hermes sandals in the Fabul item shop. Hermes sandals, if you don't know, cast fast on the character using it, which is very good for getting everyone sort of to the same agility point in the grind and have a consistent turn order. So you don't have a phenomenon that we refer to as people like jumping each other in the turn order, where someone gets their turn sort of out of order.
Indeed. Meanwhile, we see that there happens to be a gauntlet sitting here in the Baron Inn. So apparently, all of the senators, Senator Crocodile and such, are hanging out here in the bar.
Yeah, this is honestly really close to a best. And wow, I think that's the first time I've seen Flame not kill a Fang Shell.
There's always got to be one time. I would usually use a Thor Rage on that because I think Thor Rage takes them all out pretty reliably too.
Thor Rage takes out the Fang Shells, but doesn't take out the back two.
That's true. It's better at the Piranhas. Will take those out usually.
Yeah, it looks like the plan was to use the 4 flames on the 4 encounters that aren't so easily mopped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. The Senate was in session their side. The Senate is about to be Julius Caesared. Rule defense has an antlion that just gives an Aegis shield. Unfortunate.
Aegis Shield is like, yeah, it's a zonk and it's not progression, but an Aegis Shield is a wonderful thing to have in your back pocket. Ooh, another Cat Claw. The positive agility manipulation is great for Edge in the early game, especially since Pyre doesn't have anything else to give him.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's a second thing to hold in hand. Uber is the Senate. Well, you were the Senate. Out of session. Ooh, underground access for Pankraz. All right.
And Sid,
Like-
we haven't seen a white mage, so I think both of our runners will be going underground this season. They might even do Dwarf Castle, surprisingly.
They might. Yeah, that's another place to get a character. Since the hook may now be buried somewhere in the sea, we don't know. It'd be kind of funny if the hook happens to be holding, like, let's say, a cheeky demist at the first spot in Upper Babel. That would be hilarious. Pankraz is going to go and finish the Alien Cave first, though. Just, you don't want to leave that behind just in case it has something. It has a possible something. We don't know if that Luka key goes anywhere yet, but
No, it won't for a long while.
It's the Sork Robe. Pyre is going to raise the whale. Probably hoping there's a white mage on the moon. Is going to be disappointed that there's not. I think they would pull that strategy only if they felt extremely behind. Like, let's say they have like 2 or 3 wipes early on. Then they might be trying for broke. I don't think we're going to see that play today.
No, that doesn't happen with an Edge hero.
Love for door grinds in the chat. We do love them if they're set up right. I just don't see it happening here today, but
Yeah, you kind of need like a white mage for that.
yeah, unless you want to buy like a whole bunch of Star Veils and hope that the targeting isn't right, which isn't good either.
No, because when you do that, it's going to target somebody that it's going to target that Sid, and he's not going to get his turn because he's probably like RA12.
Making some Dr. S'mores over here on the mountain. Via out for saving potential grind later.
Yep, the sling preservation with no early orb. You don't want Rydia eating up turns in the queue. You don't want her getting XP and potentially getting out of the slingshot range, especially since with Rydia being Pankraz's 5th character, she was already going to receive a slingshot.
Yeah, and I don't think I've worried about it too much in this fight because it's split experience, and I mean, first, I don't usually worry about taking a character down to about level 20. It's like, if for some reason you want to like block an early egg, it's like maybe you get her at least up to stop before you start knocking her over.
Here we are, the Accursed Mountain. Pankraz is currently being held back a moment so that the streams are in sync, but he's also going to the Accursed Mountain.
Mountain was more a curse back in OMG when this is a bit more of a gamble of a play.
Well, now it's accursed because you have to do it, right? Or like it's terrible because there's no reason not to. You've got the guy in your inventory. You want to use that crystal armor or the Aegis shield. That
I mean, you don't have to use the Cecil. You can just replace him with your first opportunity to get someone else to fill the slot.
That would be throwing
play, but
like if you removed from Cecil, if you set Cecil's like equip pool to not include any weapons at all, he would still be one of the best characters in the game. The cover ability with access to the heavy armor is so strong for the fights where it matters that you're most likely not doing anything else. You're like I don't see a situation in which you throw away Cecil in this flag set or in most.
there were seeds I didn't take Cecil. I mean, when he was available, early on at least. Not kind of the situations like he gets at the back of Giant. Oh, it's a comedy man on the back attack spot.
Huh.
Oh.
Pyre just tried to target. Okay, so we know this won't have our logical underground access, which means that magma key. Well, the magma key is obviously our logical underground access. It'll be more useful information for Pyre than for Pankraz.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Pankraz did manage to get a second character down, so only have one demolish animation to get through. Whereas Pyre, let's get one down here real quick. He's gonna have 2 probably.
The D-Lunars do have a summon counter. They will, if they're dealt damage, they use the Remedy ability, which recovers 10% of their max hit points, and that's the worst possible targeting for Pankraz. Kane's turn comes up here, and he's probably fine. I know there's considerable magic power here. I don't remember how much the viruses do.
It's gonna hurt. I'm not sure if it's gonna one-shot the Sid, but it might come close. Trying to run buffer it. It's the Starville off on Kane, so this will get through.
Pankraz doesn't try to run buffer. He just run buffers.
Usually we run buffer ourselves right out of our Mech Giant grind.
Yeah, I was tempted to suggest he can't run specific, not to like when we were designing the flags, I was tempted to suggest he can't run, not to try and prevent people from doing the grind, but to enable run buffering during the grind.
And Pankraz is through. Will not go back to safety save this one.
No, there is
that makes sense.
No
I can't
situation.
imagine anything here that. Yeah, Edge is too fast.
Yeah, Edge is so fast.
I think almost anything you'll see here, the 2 ninja swords will take it down in one shot. It's an assassin dagger, so no real reward for getting here other than the man.
Yeah, we got the guy. And Pankraz is a full party. He can sling the guy off of an egg. And that assassin dagger will probably be of help in that regard.
Nice that the second shot is 1 over 1,000, not the first.
It's what we call range.
It's like the second shot is always seemingly the stronger one, no matter what seems to happen here.
Pyre safety saved. I understand. You don't want to sit through that gold buzz again.
Well, also in Pyre's case, he doesn't have the two ninja swords as a buffer that Pankraz does.
Oh yeah, he's going in here with like Poison Claw, Cat Claw, and it's gonna take him 3 or 4 punches.
I don't think he has enough.
You don't have the Assassin Dagger. Assassin Dagger, Cat Claw should be enough damage to do this in 2 or 3
Oh yeah,
punches.
Assassin Dagger will definitely help Pyre's damage situation, as he's going to
Other
swap there
than
right
he's
away.
not back road. This is gonna take a minute.
He's going to fix that. I think Scythe, you get Cecil some level just because you don't have a White Mage yet, and you probably want at least to check for a White Mage in Dwarf Castle before you do that. If there's an easy one available.
I would, yeah. My prediction is that it's either going to be straight in the Dwarf Castle or egg in the Dwarf Castle. At least for Pankraz.
Yeah, possibly with a check of the Cave of Monsters to see if you've got like a free Bahamut there you can just sort of take out. If that king is or queen is either of them is the Bahamut, I mean with Starveils that's free.
And of course, there's the perpetually free King Queen Emblem. Though there have been some intrepid folks on forks making flags to make them a lot less free. Scythe Marshal has coded something to make basically remove the set spell power from boss scripts, and I am very excited for somebody to implement it into their fork so it can be played with. And we see King Queen Evelyn at the Masamune altar doing thousands of damage with Fire 2s.
Gotta love the innovators that we have in our forks. Making the King and Queen of Evelyn from basically a pushover into something that's actually a challenge.
Yep, and straight into Dwarf. This is here's a sling. Like it's not quite as much as an egg, but it's a better place to be than out in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere has its advantages.
Yeah, but it's all the way out there.
Yeah, but on the other hand, if you happen to accidentally wipe, no one sees it. Alright, so Pyre's cleaning up the Baron in check that Pankraz already did.
Yeah, it's the only thing available to him. it's down. Oh, he was just shopping. I bet it's shop egg.
Yeah, just chopping and dwarf not actually going to do it just yet. Makes a certain deal of sense. I mean, if you're going to take it, you probably want to pop the egg first. Oh, finds the cabins for sale.
Yeah, and with starting darkness, grind is on the mind, and shopping tends to enable the grind.
Validates the seed.
That rune ring could be pretty juicy. Giving somebody mage resist is always useful.
It's one siren today, so if they do use it down here, that's the only one they're going to have. Still, Magic's going to get popped, even so.
Yeah, if there were Mute Bell, if Pyre has a rune axe and he has a paladin, so if Pyre goes and searches out Mute Bells, he could do a pack of warlocks.
You know, Pankraz did find that there were some, excuse me, cat claws for sale in Tamra if we happen to find our Yong later on.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Yang makes it into this party. We already have Kane and an Ogre Axe, and possibly even a Poison Axe. And so their sort of general purpose is the same.
Yeah, true. Ooh, Dragon Whip. That's nice for the radio. Ooh, finds the monster box. So it has to reset. On the other hand, third floor can now be looted freely.
Oh, Sid isn't long for this party either, Jazer. We need a white mage. We would very much like to have a white mage.
Sid is white mage-ish. The problem is it can only throw Cure 3s in bottles.
And he can throw them about once every half century with Edge as your anchor.
Well, yeah, maybe those Hermes sandals would make it a little bit better. Oh, black belt. And another ninja's blade, which can now be darted, I think.
No, they're not.
They're not dartable?
No, they are dartable. They're just terrible darts. They have 48 attack power. You want to dart. Edge's swords are not good for darts.
I've seen more from
There's the
inventory
hook.
management perspectives. Yeah, okay.
Oh, from an inventory management perspective, you sell it. It's worth 22,000 gold. It's nice cash infusion in a flag set. And this is a flag set where there isn't a lot to buy. So runners haven't particularly been strapped for cash, but that ninja sword trades directly for a black belt.
Yeah, Pankraz doesn't buy any right now. Might come back later once he sees what's for sale at the weapon shop. We're getting underground now. It's probably about 5 minutes after Pankraz.
Oh, probably. That's like, this part of the seed isn't the variance that particularly matters. I would say that it's going to be whoever gets to the point where they can fight that Baigan first.
Yeah, that was a spicy king over there. Baigan in that spot, and the D imps over in the queen spot, where that's one of the fastest spots in the game.
That was elements.
That was elements? I thought that was... Okay, I thought it looked like D imps, but it was a very quick flash.
Very quick flash. Very quick Habana.
And Pankraz is going to do some cooking.
Yep, that's kind of what the slumber swords are for, I'm betting. Or at least one of them.
We're still going to take Rydia down, which makes sense. She gets slung way too far with this. Doesn't quite take it down.
No, but the turn order should be fine. And
no, Sid's going to get it done in time, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Tonka gained 25 levels. That should be more than enough for Dwarf Castle, or maybe even top a tower if we're feeling gutsy. And Pankraz did just get the hook, which is yet another character check available to him.
Falcon's not an objective, but you can also peek and see if it is possibly your Demus tying down in a cheeky spot.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the play from either of the runners here today, just for how much power they already have and how many objectives they have on the board, and how many other... Oh, King Queen Eblin. You could have gotten away with using this to sling your Cecil, but that requires peeking it, and that's meh.
Oh, that's like a 1 in 25 shot that it's actually exactly King Queen.
Yeah, I think your odds get a little worse once you're underground, because, like, you know, the odds don't shake out to be like exactly what they think they would be, because there are certain bosses that simply can't show up on the overworld. Rather, there is a set of bosses where they can't all show up on the overworld. Your safety checks.
Well, yeah, I mean, at least one spot has to be, not certain things, but...
Yeah, and if it's sort of a chain of items that leads to your intended way underground, there's a lot of spots. And the swoon proc on the Rydia.
And then he silenced her anyways after she was already dead. What a waste of time. Even though Pankraz got in here a little bit afterwards, does get through it first just because of those levels from the egg.
Levels from the egg and the better gear.
Yep, combination.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say is, that the unsafe bosses are less likely to be on the overworld because they can't be placed there. Oh, Bahamut, we can do the Red Dragon grind.
And meanwhile, we didn't get the character we wanted to see here, though, so... And Pankraz is through the Val.
At this point, actually, Hallam is probably more desired than a White Mage. Because with Cecil, you don't need healing for the grind, and with Nuke Reflect strats, you won't need healing for Zemus.
Yeah, I guess in a pinch, you could always get an Ashura for Radiant. I think we've seen a couple of those orbs. There's not a whole lot of fights where you'd want them, but Ogopogo is one of the ones where if it shows up somewhere with a high HP, you'd kind of want it.
There's the Baron key. All the character checks are just sort of trickling out of the woodwork, except for the one that represents an objective on the board.
Yes, the Sand Ruby is not necessarily sad today, unless it's an Edward, in which case then it is kind of a sad thing, but we'll still cure him anyways. Pankraz is going to set up Sheila 1. I don't think he's done for Bull yet, so we'll get the for the price of 1 at least. Speaking red this morning. Those ninja swords are just putting in work.
Yeah, you get middle late game gear on a character that in vanilla only appears in the mid game. It puts in a lot of extra time. Pankraz bought one more Hermes than Pyre did. I don't think it matters, but I'm pointing it out anyways.
I did not know that Pankraz is a bread baker, so okay. Anyhow. Pyre's going to chase this Baron key. It makes a bit of sense, given where we are on the seed. Still looking for a character. It does have an objective in the basement. Might get lucky with a double on the throne. We've seen Baron key more than once be where it's hard required, just because there's 2 objective checks here. You got chains that will lead through. We don't need to worry about knocking Rydia down here. She'll get to level 15 off of this. She'll still be in fine sling range at this point.
And more importantly, she'll have the MP to cast Bahamut at least once from here, which I don't think Pankraz is going to go for the triple red dragon, but there are situations where you want to Blarg.
And you might want to cast Stop on the Searcher potentially, or the
Stop is
depending.
Stop is probably the key factor here.
Killa 1 is holding Defense Sword. That's nice for Kane.
It's a good dart.
Okay. Good dart too, that's for sure.
Kane's got a Gungnir. He doesn't need a defense sword. And more importantly, there are Ogre Axes. Kane doesn't need a defense sword.
Oh, I mean, it's his best weapon for the most part. It's a marginal the improvement at this point, but it's still
Well,
better.
it's not his best weapon. Once Kane has Kane in the center slot, or Kane with enough levels that the accuracy bonus from levels overcomes the difference, the Bite Spear is best.
True, but for most of the early game, except for the late game, it is the defense sword's better. You're just trying to throw away Kane's toys.
Oh, I'd probably dart the White Spear too, honestly.
Again, you're trying to dart away Kane's toys. We have a Bahamut.
There's that
taking it down.
Bahamut we were talking about.
So whenever Rydia summons the Bahamut in this game, he's going to be called from his shower.
There's our White Mage. We're ready to grind. All right.
Xpankraz, meanwhile, is going to check this poke route character first, possibly, or the shops.
Both, probably. I don't know what he would want to buy. He's seen maybe a back row item for Edge, or nothing at all.
It's just a character check then. Got it. Silk Hose would be nice, but I think the runners might have already given up on Silk Gloves, even though they haven't checked all the item shops. Meanwhile, the trash bucket in Baron is holding an Earth Crystal that Sid just discarded after working on the airships.
Duplicate
that
duplicate Cecil on the hook route.
Meanwhile, I think Pyre is going to check that treasury out because does not have the greatest gear setup for his edge at this point. Yep. Hoping for some Hanzo steel here in the treasury.
Or an Avenger, perhaps.
That would also be very good.
If there's enough physical firepower, it could be faster to go with Berserk.
Artie Bow, White Spear,
It's a good dart.
Tiara, Leviathan, Sork Robe, Ninja Sword, Zeus Gauntlet. Okay, they came out alright for Edge.
Zeus Gauntlet. No, Zeus Gauntlet just comes out alright for everybody. Like, that's a 10 out of 10 treasury because there is one Zeus Gauntlet in there.
Oh, true. You put that on Cecil, and instantly the cover strats and the Giant are pretty much just, you know, whatever. He's not going to go down to anything. And we're going to see Pyre set this up right away.
Yeah, with a sling on 2 mages. This is going to probably be a hybrid idea. He should probably have put that Zeus Gauntlet on Cecil explicitly for the cover strats.
Pancras is probably going to be right behind him in just a moment, but the extra shopping and the extra couple checks that Pancras did, it's going to mean that Pyre probably gets into the grind a little bit faster. We'll see if Pancras can make it up on the actual grind itself.
And there's Rydia still muted from Dwarf because he hasn't used a cabin.
We don't hear her do any speaking in this particular fight anyways.
Well, she's probably going to cast Stop at some point because Pyre both didn't hang on to Sid and didn't obtain an Earth Hammer, and I'm not trusting Edge to one-shot a Searcher. Not in any world.
Pyre must not have gotten the CD wanted for the that Giant setup here. Some runners basically, when we put on the can't run flag a few tournaments ago, came up with the step chart that tells you sort of like if you're trying to find the Mac Giants or the more popular D machines in the Giant, you can go to Baron, just reset the game, and then figure out based on what step the encounter comes on, whether you've got a seed that's going to lead you to the grind fight you want, and how many more fights you have to take to get there.
I don't think Pyre peaked Baron Basement, but at this point, it's not relevant, the Baron basement clear will be faster after the grind.
Yeah, I mean, given that you've already seen pretty much all of your free-ish fights, I mean, King Queen has already been seen. You've already got your Yang out of the way. Nothing else would pretty much be, quick unless it's maybe a Water Hag.
Water Hag, the Kaipo guards would have been pretty doable there. Pankraz is peaking Baron basement.
Except we'd seen we had seen the guards for Baron also, though. I think they were Baron 1.
Oh, were they?
I think they were. And then, of course, Pankraz proving us wrong because he's going to check this, even though the grind is now available here. And is going to find a door and just say no. And we'll now do the setup for the grind.
Yeah, looks like we'll have dueling Mech Giants.
Yeah. Now, Pankraz did not check the treasury out before doing this, so he's not going to have the benefit of that Zeus gauntlet. Still will have the crystal armor, though.
Yeah, crystal armor in the back row is... Like, it isn't the perfect defense for the Mech Giants, but it is close enough.
I don't think the bosses are begging for the grind, Jays. I'm sure the bosses would prefer that you just stay at your base level and just, all over like a good little hack.
And Pyre, playing with fire, doing very little in regards to setup for summoning his first giant. Honestly, it looks like better RNG on which encounter seed Pankraz got is gonna be part of the difference made.
Yeah, that definitely could be. One thing that might come into play here is it looks like, based on the strategy Pyre is selecting, the extra life glitches are probably not going to be as much of a thing. Unless he gets them off with his cane here, but... Ooh, that Cecil's taking quite a few hits because it doesn't have the Zeus Gauntlet on.
And there's a double for Pyre. He's gonna get him. But Pyre is very low on the healing items. He had to burn a Cure 3 here because he's out of Cure 2s. This might be a very short grind overall, just because of the objective giant looming.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it looks like Pankraz is burning some Hermes, so getting the agility set up more to his liking. Also, thanks to the game for helpfully putting these back to back, such that one is a back row and one is not.
Oh yeah, Pyre didn't use any of his Hermes sandals while in this setup. He just went. Wonder if he's gonna use them for Zemus then?
I'm not sure. I mean, I get to Zemus. I mean, if you're doing full reflect, I think you would just simply go, but maybe he's doing Zorker strats? Oh, we've got this grind ongoing. Again, a shout out to Antidale, our restreamer, with Nightdew doing the button pushing, and also our racers Pankraz and Pyre. Give them a follow on Twitch, or also look us up on the Discord. If you want to find out more information about for Enterprise or look to join some races, possibly. It's always a fun time in the community. Everybody's very helpful if you ever come by before to play. And also thanks, Scar, for joining me on this Sunday afternoon and having a little bit of fun tonight. So I think both of our runners are probably aiming for roughly 16 Mac Giants, however many doubles they get off on this. Maybe a little bit less because they've got the Giant objective coming up, but the goal would be to get Rydia to the nuke. So that's usually about 16 from where she is.
They both have Bahamut, so they can pretty safely cut it short because Bahamut, well, it's got a little bit of delay. It does typically outdamage nuke.
Yeah, especially if it's a multi-target setup. What do you think they would try here? And then like maybe 7 or 6.
Probably 12. Like they
So
like
6 and 6 is the equivalent. Yeah.
Yeah, 6x6 maybe. Xpankraz did not loot the treasury and frankly had no need. He had the gear. He like that ogre, the Zeus gauntlet would have helped, but with crystal armor in hand, you don't like need.
Cecil comes up a little bit
here.
Right, Kane comes a little bit short on Pankraz's side, so both runners having a little bit of a problem with that. Kane just not hitting quite hard enough.
Yeah, the Ogre X is 85% accurate. I don't think their Canes have enough levels at this point to get, to 100%. I don't remember what the accuracy bonus from levels is, but clearly it's not enough.
While sometimes Kane has a very wide variance in this particular grind. I mean, I've seen it sometimes vary more than 4,000 damage points depending on what your rolls are. High enough that time.
Yeah, well, it's sort of like it's compound variance, right? Because sometimes Cecil will also low roll despite being in the middle. I think that's probably just the little bit of defense the Mac Giant does have coming into play.
Or it could just be Cecil sulking that he's not quite the man like he is in previous tournaments.
He's still the guy.
Not by as much as he has been in previous tournaments. It's like, does we make his Holy Swords a little bit harder to get? He's great covering, but I mean, his X-Scales and his Crystal Swords have been a little bit farther, fewer and farther in between this flag set. Pyre is done. Got forearm up to white.
It looks like Rydia up to nuke, or very close.
Yeah, let's see. I think that should be just about there. Yep, up to nuke. So, Pyre is all set.
Looks like Xpankraz is in the back half of his grind. He's using actual damaging weapons to trigger the alert counter instead of. Yeah, it looks
I think
like
you might be done because we're
Yep.
getting the forum up at this point. And Pyre is going to show us who's on the first part of the giant. Oh, it's free. If you knew this was here, you might have actually wanted to cut the grind a little bit shorter because, this would not have been a problem.
Yeah, but with the way Mac Giant grinds are set up, it is probably an excessive time to peak the
All,
first part
yeah, I
of the
mean,
time.
you would lose your grind setup and have to redo it. So yeah, it's not really worth the time to peak it. But you know,
There
xPankraz is
is
fun.
there is a chart for manipping from the um, giant save points, but it is much quicker to do the Baron manip and safer.
Yep. Oh, there's Bahamut, which only takes out one of the soldiers. Speaking of spots with a lot of HP,
Yep, this spot has 102,000 XP or HP to split. Most bosses are single target, and thus will only get 65,000 of that, because with the data structure of this game, a boss can only have as much as 65,000 hit points.
yep. But when they're split, you can put all the HP on the character, on the enemy. So each of these has about 30,000, I think. Or obviously the guard officer is a little bit more, I think.
I think the officer is 65k, and then with the way the randomizer scales enemies, this one probably doesn't. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I'm seeing of the Maga Sisters of Pain being in this spot.
Yeah, this spot doesn't quite get the full. The back officer gets 65,000 hit points, and each of the soldiers gets just shy of 9,300.
Ah. Oh, talking about a
very
free giant.
free giant, yeah.
And what happened to the rudeness you promised us in the seed? My goodness.
There was a starting darkness crystal. I don't think rudeness was promised. And besides, it's not up to Antidale to decide how the seed goes. It's random. It's a randomizer.
Anchor is going for the stone. The stone missed. Hi, Eddie. Hi, Eddie. Hey, stone works that time.
Yeah, Rydia's wisdom growth, believe it or not, is nowhere near as bad as Tella's, so she will eventually land the Onslaught Stone.
Anchor is not going to safety save, which is going to turn out well for him because we know this is a water hag and he's going to get through it.
And as he would put it, he's stronger than God.
Alright, Pyre is going to set the party up and go back and get the Baron basement, I believe. xPankraz is through. Yeah, pour him with life too. Let's see it too often. Alright, so both runners have their first objective down, completing the giant. And Pankraz is going to right
going
to the moon.
moon.
We have divergence here a little bit. So it looks like this is going to be a bottom-up play, I would think, considering the White Spear is the objective.
Yeah, this could be as silly as White Spear Ribbon Room go. Like, White Spear Ribbon Room and then go clean up your objectives in hopes of... that's good news for Pankraz, because he's going to do... Because if he... Regardless of how much moon he clears, he's going to get that pass from... Pass from an objective is good for both runners.
Yes. Yeah, it'll be nice to see. I mean, the only thing that might potentially play into Pankraz's routing is, since he's not going to find the pass up here, might choose clear all 6 all going back to the earth if he doesn't get everything right away. Pyre is going to do the king objective next, which makes sense. Do your objectives. One of the things that is a mantra of racers everywhere. Your freebies, do your objectives. Oftentimes it happens to be the play. Go figure.
Oh, Pyre hasn't been here yet. Because he did
Baron. Hook now.
Yeah, you left the Free March freebie alone for a moment, which isn't gonna necessarily bite him this time.
Hey, we've got a wyvern sitting up here on the moon. And it's going to use
Stormvern. They are at the levels where that matters. Normally, like when you see Stormvern on the overworld, you're usually taking it at a lower level, so you don't have the HP to tank the nukes anyways.
Yeah, here it's like you could have tanked the nukes, but not with obviously only single-digit HP.
But this is, like Edge's agility growth. This is a very slow wyvern. Like, we are getting...
And it's already down.
Yeah, it's already down. The action economy was very much in Pankraz's favor there.
This is also in Pankraz's favor. He gets the tower key. So we'll not have to do the Healess Tower play, which Pyre might consider doing, depending. Yep, and heal Pankraz, especially if you're not going to save. Ooh, there's a cheeky demist.
I wouldn't call this cheeky. This is rude. This is the third highest HP spot in the game. Second highest if you discount Zemus, because he hasn't been randomized yet.
Yeah, what are you playing in your fork?
Oh, I don't know how to code, but someone's gonna do it eventually.
Probably, but I have a feeling it's likely to get played very often.
What do you mean? I'm gonna play it.
I said very often, not that it wasn't going to play at all.
You say I don't play a lot? Shame.
Or him with the punch.
Looks like this is gonna be a 2-cycle demist. Not the worst. Not the worst for a Ribbon Room demist. 42,000 hit points of good old Derek Mist.
King has a spoon. Not progression, but it's a nice start. And for the elements, we're not saving. I think this is probably
This
going to be
is-
a reflect strat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reflect a fire 3 and a cure 4. Or
might
a
have been-
nuke and a cure 4 even. I think all of Pyre's plus wisdom gear is still on Porum from the defense he wanted her to have for the grind. Which was nowhere near enough.
Yeah, we can reflect Cure 4s, though. That's fine.
Yeah, Cure 4 is an instant cast. And especially for doing the slower cast Fire 3 as your primary damage.
Well, it doesn't really matter because with the HP it has when it's on this setting with the split XP, 2 shots is enough. Just a rune axe.
A couple of hard zonks from the Fey March.
Yeah, meanwhile, Pankraz is trying the Mesa altar, is finding it's a free-ish D-Knight. Actually, it's not. It is just free. The HP is enough here. Didn't find anything in the ribbon room, it looks like. Trying to keep some people up at least, but doesn't really get a whole lot off there. E-Knight is down. It's Crystal Shield. Whoops. So we're going to go back and check the Crystal Sword altar next. I considered resetting and said, nope, we'll keep the defense sword. There's a Kenazu with the Crystal Sword altar.
This is the lowest HP spot in the LST. 25,000 hit points here. Not a problem for the level for a party of these levels.
Nope, the turtle is going to gather the water and is quickly going to be just flushed down the drain. Pyre is also going to the moon now. Okay, that makes sense. I think he's got all of the checks clear except for the... Did you keyless? I don't think he did.
He didn't do Keyless Tower.
And did you check Luca? I don't think he did either.
I don't think he did either, and I don't think it was like this is contextually speaking. This is what Pyre's route should do.
Yeah, although unfortunately, Pankraz is already a bit further ahead in this one. So I think that favors Pankraz in the end, just because Pyre's going to do the same checks, just a little bit behind.
Yeah. The Earth side objectives not giving direct progression is rather unfortunate for Pyre.
I mean, that is the question the runners have to decide is like, when do you stop clearing the blue planet and go up to the moon? Sometimes people will full clear the blue planet, sometimes they'll just simply abandon the blue planet, like Pankraz, and sometimes, you know, it'll be a mix. Like, you know, maybe leave one or two behind, hope it doesn't burn you.
Both runners have left a slew of slow checks right behind. They don't want to do them. They don't want to touch them.
Pyre will at least do Mura first. We'll see what is up here. Pankraz is right behind, but well, it's Dark Imps.
I think a Bahamut cast clears here, or if it doesn't clear it, it brings it very close.
Pyre's Porum is having a bad time here in the front row.
Yeah, that's usually where bad times happen, is the front row.
The offslot stone will hit for Pyre. And will
And
hit for Pankraz as well.
Pankraz was ready for that to miss, though, because he also queued up a size cast from Porum.
It is a pan.
Pan, I wouldn't be surprised if both runners right now went to check that pan.
I think
yeah.
Well, Pyre definitely is. So is Pankraz. So, okay.
No,
Oh, nope,
Pankraz
he's
is
going-
going to do Cape Bahamut, then the pan, I'm
Oh.
betting. He's saved in a
Okay.
more convenient spot.
All right. Yeah, because if this isn't good, then just simply reset over there. Okay. He still doesn't know about the past. That makes sense to save it there. All right.
Also, only one K Moon spot hit. That's kind of gross. Only one K Summon spot is hit so far, so it looks like those long and slow checks are gonna chain into our the rest of the key items.
Although it could be the case that Demus might hold the key to the rest of this for one of the racers.
Yeah, Demist is
It is in the
definitely gonna
main
be
pool,
the
but
first thing checked. It is a K main check, so it does have that favored weight. Like with the way it works, some of the moon altars, and some of
there's a
there's the
pink tail, though.
tail.
I think.
some
Let's see. Pink and White Spear, but it doesn't have Magnus. Okay, so it's the Forge or one of the Harp and or Sand Ruby.
yeah.
Yeah, CPU here is not exactly ideal. Riddy is going to take it in the face.
Yeah, this is just plan Q. Just go for it.
Yep. I would probably do the same. CPU is not cooperating, takes out one of the Zergers. Alright, we're getting a recovery of the orbs. Not sure that Bahamut was too early or not.
No.
Oh, okay, CPU is down though, so this is fine. Now, will Sheila give us a double for this pan? If it is a Twin Harp or a Sand Ruby, Pyre is in go.
I'm betting half a Forge.
That's a
I was
package.
wrong.
It was a key item, it just wasn't the right one. Crystal Ring from
Crystal
the
Ring.
Bahamut altar.
Not. It's a good agility minute, but I guess not worth the time to exit it out.
Now, question for Pyre: does he go back to the moon, or there's an Avenger? That's nice. Does he go back to the moon, or does he stay on the Earth and clear the checks he left on the Earth? If he goes back to the moon, that puts Pankraz in the driver's seat.
Well, he's got an objective up there, so he's probably the most reasonable play for Pyre to go back to the moon, clear his objective, and when and he might chase the tower key, but like either option he'll have after receiving that tower key will be prudent. Like I don't think Pyre at this point cannot make a wrong choice. It's just that some of the choices will be slow, or rather, there are no wrong choices for Pyre from an objective standpoint. From a standpoint void of the context of knowing what the key item spots all give.
Demist was not value, just a ninja sword there. So it is still a hunt for our last 4 key items. The rat tail. No, sorry, no. The forge items, the twin harp, and the sand ruby. We know where everything else is except for the rat tail. At this point, we know it's got to be in either Zod or Tower. I would imagine Pankraz goes Tower first, because it's 2 checks versus 1 long one, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think he's probably also going to clean up Baron Basement and the Fey March first, because he hasn't touched those yet, and there's an objective at each.
Yep. Pankraz is going to reset down to the underground after that pan check did not work out, and into the tower he goes. He's not healed up yet, so hope he remembers that before he gets into a fight.
Now I'm wondering if Pankraz is doing the math here as to... Because, as I was beginning to say earlier, not every spot within the non-K main pools actually becomes a check. The game will kind of like disincentivize the like just try to prevent the moon and the summon spots from being entirely required by is it Agapo?
Hopefully this is not Ogo. It is Ogo. Okay, he gets it off in time though. That would have been a 1 if he had not gotten that off.
The agility here isn't all that high. Like, it's a mid-game spot, but it's not,
Yeah, but it's DM, so at the same time.
Yeah, this is a variable speed location between 18 and 21 agility.
Penguin or special?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's been a common play this tournament. It's just ignore the top of the tower. It takes a while to get up there, and it's kind of slow.
And based on what we know, I mean, it's like the only thing that could change is if it's the Twin Harp, but I don't think the Twin Harp can gate everything at this point. Okay, it could with a Rat Tail maybe, but, you know. Alright, Pankraz we'll get for this. An ARP. That is go, I think, for Pankraz.
Yep, trade it. Yep, he has 4 objectives to complete. He's in go mode.
Yep, so we'll have the Pink Tail, the King, the Cave Magnus, and the Basement Throne. So Pyre is kind of on a clock now to finish up his moon play and get back to the Earth to finish up.
Pankraz will also have a little bit of time over Pyre because he will not have to take the queen spot in this case. Pyre did earlier. Pyre resets out of DKC.
He's got an Avenger on.
Oh, that's right. Spade's gonna go back because this actually is a check. It's a blank, so he obviously doesn't know that, but we'll go back and take it just to be complete.
Yeah, from his perspective, it could be everything.
Yeah, any spot could be really at this point. 'Cause you're on a Twin Harp and or a Sand Ruby check. So yeah.
Bahamut and some darts making pretty short work of this Baigan. I think it's one or two more from here. Which was the same story for Pyre when he cleared it.
Yeah, I mean, after the grind with a Bahamut, this melts pretty quick. And there it goes. Pankraz will get the spoon. That is objective 3 down for Pankraz. 3 more to go. We'll probably be off to, I would imagine, next the basement. By, we'll see what the order is, but that makes the most sense. Hey, we're not making me a liar after 1 minute. That's good. Didn't save, but also doesn't really have to. This evil wall, which he knows is down here, is not going to be a threat at this point in time.
And in already knowing what's down here, he knows he doesn't need to heal that Porum because she's in cover range, and all, the first half of Evil Wall's script is entirely punching.
Yes, Pankraz is in go, has the pink tail, has the twin harp, and is doing the throne now. So yeah, the Pankraz is definitely in go. And just for the chef's kiss, it would be funny if the twin harp happens to have one of our forge pieces or our hand ruby.
I think with the clear percentages and how many of the remaining key items are terminal, it's very likely.
Yeah, I think that's right. Cause I'm trying to think. Well, we haven't done Zot, so Zot could still hold a value along with the keyless tower or the top of tower we haven't seen yet. So it doesn't have to have any value here.
Yeah, it doesn't have to.
It's likely, but it doesn't have to.
With the only unseen non-terminal key item being the rat tail, it is, those terminal key items of Sand Ruby, Legend, and Adamant kind of have to be dispersed.
It could be top of tower into rat into forge piece.
Zot into the other forge piece. Luca has Sand Ruby. Yeah, it's possible we don't see anything else.
We'll find out momentarily. And as a bonus, we are going to hear some music. I think Pankraz might do the pink tail turn in first. Just it's on the way to getting up to Zot. We'll see. Yeah, it's going to pick up the hovercraft and turn the tail first. All right, Pyre is taking out the CPU in the meantime. Decides that the best way to deal with a misbehaving computer is to nuke it. I approve of this plan. Computer fights back. Pyre has completed his moon checks and will soon be back to the Earth. We'll see where he goes first. Hopefully for Pyre, he decides to do Keyless Tower first. Because we know that is definitely the go mode, but we will see what he ends up choosing to do. Meanwhile, on Pankraz's side, we're going to hear some music soon from DJ Spoony B. This being a randomizer, I like to randomize lots of things, and one of those things is the music that Eddie plays in order to break the Dark Elf spell down here. So, we have about several hundred possible harp tunes that are in here that can be drawn from. And, yeah, in a moment we're going to hear one of those. These people are trying to pull up the Free Enterprise harp emote, but I see some of those in chat, and apologies to the people in the Harp Faders Anonymous Club. Not your day today. So we'll be quiet for a moment and let you hear the wonderful tunes. Well, that was very fast music considering the endgame levels we're at here. Is a double, it had a piece of the forge. Go figure. Pankraz is going to get the crystal. And we'll be heading off to Z. It can be Sand Ruby, yes. Pyre is hoping, or really needs it to be, the Sand Ruby at this point. Hey, there are some Z flags in chat. Scar, what does those mean? Have we seen Luca? No, we have not, Nirokad. Oh, there were silk webs in Troya the whole time. Oh, that's funny.
I mean, that's pretty easy money, right? You just buy the one that we need for this Ramos fight.
Was that Sand Ruby?
Sand Ruby at top of tower. Pyre's in go mode. Pyre's ready.
Oh, the answer was the tower all along. It had two different objectives hiding in it.
Yeah, I mean, you can fade two objectives in this flag set.
You can. Although if one of those objectives is a double, then you can really fade one, and you don't know what those doubles are to begin with. Turns out Twin Harp was a double this time.
Oh, Twin Harp had half a forge? Ah, I see. So the key tower is...
It had,
So
it had the
something in the
legend
tower is
sword.
required. Yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
you had to step in there somewhere. The Pyre is in go mode. Sand Ruby will be a quicker turn in than the music. Unfortunately, this Z fight is beginning, and this is randomizer again. We like to randomize what Z looks like because we can't move him around because, well, Big Bang scripts are kind of hard to deal with.
The
there's
script
a que-
wouldn't be that hard to deal with. I think it's actually a limitation on his sprite. His sprite uses colors differently than the rest of the sprites in the game, which is part
Meanwhile,
of why it's so malleable for our randomization.
who's better we gonna kick tonight since we're out of time now? Hey, it's Zemus. I have no idea where this is from.
Turn of yours? Because I also have no idea where this is from.
Queen Spot was the elements. That
Oh,
was blank.
it's from Brawl. I guess it's from, what, the Subspace Emissary game mode?
Hey, Vanilla Rosa in the bed with our crystal for Pyre. So Pyre is going to be off to Z. Again, they're about a minute or two after Pankraz does.
It looks like this is, what, Nuke White Reflect strats with a couple of darts thrown in?
Yeah, I mean, the way Z's script works, you can damage up to 45,000 direct without him doing the HP refill. So I'm sure that Pankraz is counting up the HP and will stop when there's a risk that another direct attack can go over 45. Oh, Zerks were out. This is Hybrid? Okay, I didn't see the Zerks. Sorry.
Good old hybrid strats.
They are a little bit slower than Direct or Reflect only, but on the other hand, because of the extreme physical power you've got with your Edge and the speed, it kind of makes sense. I think Edge tends to be hybrid strats more often than some of the other heroes, just because of the speed.
Yeah, and Nuke with, like, Nuke White Reflect strats are a little flimsy on, like, agility requirements. I don't know if he went in with Artemis bows on. I don't think he got an Artemis bow, actually.
I think the Artemis might have been on just Pyre's side, but in any case...
And there was a Zerg glitch on Edge to reduce animation time. It'll save, like, a few seconds, but, when you're racing someone the caliber of Pyre, you might want those few seconds.
Well, that just means I think the Edge was out of darts that were actually efficient to dart at that point.
Yeah, well, yeah, it means he's out of darts, or he darted all he wanted to dart.
Yeah, I mean, Spoon, you want to dart that because it's power overwhelming. Ninja Blades, not so much. Yeah, Pankraz did not loot the treasury. And it looks like, in this case, that 1 minute he might have saved not looting the treasury may end up being decisive in this one. I don't know.
Well, 55 seconds, that run buffer. A run buffer takes about 5 seconds at this message speed.
Okay, shake on... Oh, that is bang boom.
Crack,
Pankraz is
boom,
done.
Crumble.
GG.
Pankraz is moving on to the finals with an official time of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 52 seconds. I suppose we'll be seeing if he'll join us for an interview if he wants.
Very fast and efficient play. Anything under 90 minutes, I think, is usually pretty fast. We've seen some faster, but not a whole lot.
No, the goal time for this flag set was 90 to 120 minutes, so any run that comes under that is fast in our books.
Yes, we've had one practice session come in under 1 hour, but not in an official race, I don't think.
And we are joined by Mr. Dr. Professor xPankraz. GG's and congratulations on making it to the finals. How do you feel?
I'm relieved. After, the tail end of the seed, come back to Earth with nothing in hand, crying a little bit, and then items actually start turning up. And it was a nice breath of air to finally find key items, and, well, it seems I found them first.
As it turned out, I think you and Pyre both had the same strategy of pretty much going to the moon pretty quickly after doing the grind. I think Pyre might have taken the basement first and the Fey March, but then went right to the moon.
I was considering that kind of course of action, but I thought that unlikely that both of my checks were required. Something was probably going to have one thing, whether that was the Fey March King and Queen or the Baron Basement. There would be maybe one between them, but then I still have to go to the moon anyway. No pass in hand didn't really deter me up there. I just figured I'd chase the density and see what it turned up. And the answer wasn't much, but then the stuff that it did turn up, well, it's no big.
Yeah, I mean, I think the sylph in the bed was the pink tail, and that was, I think, all the moon really gave you in the end, because the D-Mist didn't turn out, and nothing else was up there.
Yep, just the pan from Murrah Altar, and then the tower key from the Wyvern spot, or the Wyvern at Plague.
Oh, that's right, the tower key.
Do your objectives, I guess.
As it turned out, we saw that because Pyre took the top of tower had the sand ruby.
Yes, did see that in the spoiler log. Did see the rat tail giving a vanilla adamant as well. But if you're forging, then you already have the twin cards. So.
Yep, true. And harp with the double again, which is always fun to see.
Always.
Any further thoughts on the seed as far as it went? I mean, it was a pretty efficient play. I mean, I guess my question would be, why not take the treasury, man? I knew you had pretty good gear to begin with, but...
I had fantastic gear, honestly. The only thing that I would have been looking for at a treasury were tier 6s and tier 7s, and I didn't think that would be worth it, really. Maybe I wanted a Murrah to modify edge agility. Maybe I wanted a Zeus glove or a strength ring, but at that point, I've got +8 on all of my Zerkers. I have fantastic weaponry for T-Pro with double ninja defense Gungnir. I'm sitting pretty on basically all fronts. Sure, Porum has no equipment. She doesn't need the equipment. I can cover her with Sesame. It seemed like the return for the time investment just wasn't enough, even if it high rolled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it did have a Zeus gauntlet, but I think one of the bigger differences in the seed turned out to be you went for Castle Eblin for your early looting, and Pyre went for the Watery Pass. And you got the 2 ninja swords, and his edge was kind of under-geared for quite a while, and then he had to take the treasury just to find something for the edge to wield.
I thought that might happen when I eventually got to Evelyn. For the past couple seeds, I know Pyre's been favoring that kind of Watery Pass start. The first seed, we both went Watery. The second seed, I went Evelyn, he went Watery. We got a little bit of divergence. The early loot both turned up great things for both of us on that one. This one, that Evelyn Castle just had everything, man. Like Ogre Axe, Blizzard Spear, the Gungnir, 2 ninja swords, the ninja shirt as well to get my agility to be just spot on at the end of it. It was some good loot. And well,
yeah, I mean,
we used that loot to great effect.
I think that it oftentimes the early looting is pretty similar, but this time around, just the choice of where you guys went, it made quite a bit of a difference in the early game, and yeah, I'm not sure if it would have been the whole difference, but I think it was at least a couple minutes worth.
Yeah, and that's always the risk you take with like the Evelyn dive. It is a little bit longer of a loot path versus your Water delay. I think this one was a really quick one, and I got out of there in like 2 minutes, but sometimes it can be 3 if the monster box placement is poor. You're investing a little bit more time for maybe a little bit higher tier loot, and this time a little bit turned into a lot of it. And not just a lot of it, but also relevant gear for everybody in the party, and that was huge.
Yeah, it was definitely a loaded Eblin for the party they had.
Even my brand new cane, fresh from the moon. And he quickly became not so brand new after that gauntlet. But
That's okay. Every builds character to have a rusty cane.
oh yeah, well used.
Listen, if he's got better than an Ogre Axe,
He had exactly an Ogre Axe, and that's huge.
exactly.
Oh no, he had a
Ogre
gun
Axe,
here. That's like
he had a
2 more
gun.
attack power.
Yeah, he had a
colossal.
It's 7 more attack power, isn't it?
It's about to.
It's how's it about? Okay.
I'll double check the exact difference afterwards, but
I'm pretty
Not enough
sure
for me to
Ogre
care too
Axe
much.
is 80 power, 85 accuracy, and Gungnir is 92 power, 80 accuracy.
it's pretty good.
Like Gungnir is the one spear that doesn't follow the suggested 11 pattern.
Why not?
I don't know.
Yep, that's exactly right. Good old Wiki confirms it. Shoutouts to the Wiki maintenance crew.
Well, the finals are on the horizon, and the first question I think on everyone's mind is: are you going to gun for a best of 3 or a best of 5 for Mr. John Burkhead?
That is a good question, and one that I don't have a good answer to, unfortunately, because my schedule is quite limited. It's unlikely that I'll be able to manage a full 5 games in a week's time. If we're gonna bleed over into next week, maybe we could do 5. But outside of that, it might just have to be 3, simply because there's not enough me to go around.
Well, you see, you and me and John, we make some of those, so maybe we can let that bleed happen. Anyways, are there any modifiers you want to have in the finals?
I mean, I was rooting for fast heroes the whole tournament. I got my fast heroes. We finally got a fast hero here at the end with the fastest option, and it was a blast. So I'm always going to root for that one to pop back up. On top of that, I don't know. I mean, I also like to see some be unsafe action, maybe get a little bit of chicanery with a hard gating Valvalis without Rosa Aim or Cecil Dark Wave to get through it on a back attack or just something weird like that. I'm looking for the nasty seeds. I'm looking for the difficult situations, and hopefully the modifiers roll me the ability to get some of those. Or maybe we'll do no change. Throw a curveball.
That would be funny. There was only one other series in the tournament so far that had no change. So the second series with no change being the finals would be pretty entertaining.
I'd also like it if we did like slow heroes and then you get the Fusoya curveball thrown into the wrench. We haven't seen him all tournament, and Ortella even, and just suddenly have him show up in the finals would be funny as well. But we'll have to wait and see.
If we end up rolling
excited to
3
be back.
Fusoyas in the finals, I think there's going to be a rebellion on that one.
Oh yeah, no, I'll be
No,
spearheading
celebration.
that rebellion. I will get the pitchfork and a sign, and I will be marching on the event team headquarters. It's easy enough to get in. I have the key, and we'll see what happens. But I'm excited for the finals. I'm excited to be back. You know, a little bit of luck helping me out along the way here throughout this bracket run, and hopefully we can keep it up and get the back.
All right. Go Group of Death.
Yeah, go Group of Death. I carry the torch, and I will use it.
Well, I think that's about all I wanted to pick Pankraz's brains on. You got anything else for him, Garen?
I think I've gotten my questions in earlier, so I think we're good.
You got anything else for us, Pankraz?
Not really. Thank you all so much for putting on the show. Thank you again, Pyre, for a fantastic series, as always. This is our 3rd time facing off and the 3rd time that I've knocked him out. And we just keep putting on stellar shows, I hope, for everybody involved. So, colossal GGs. Thank you all so much for being here, and have a great rest of the evening/afternoon. We'll catch you around next week.
Have a good
All
one,
right,
Pankraz.
cool.
See you next week. And
Well,
while
that's
the
gonna wrap-
future contains Pankraz, the present contains not much else. So I think we're gonna raid out. We're gonna head over to Possum Morpheus playing a Blast from the Past, the Blue Moon flag set. Bunch of boss hunts, wildish treasure. It'll be a blast.
All right. So join us next week for the finals. And in the meantime, have a good evening. Thanks to Andy Dale, our restreamer, and I do for pressing the buttons. You, Scar, for doing the comms with me in the booth, and also to the runners, xPankraz and Pyre. Do give them a follow on Twitch, and we'll see you next time.